realized that there wasn't really a space on campus where I felt like my full identity was all encompassed and represented. So I started doing research and asking around, and I actually phoned the Office of Diversity and Multicultural Affairs to ask if there was any sort of like multiracial or biracial or whatever group on campus. And I found out that there were, I guess, works in the making, or plans to make some sort of group like that, but it never really turned out. I just started asking around, seeing if there was any sort of interest in such an organization, and it seemed like people were really excited about it and hadn't really thought about such an organization before. But there are such organizations on other campuses, so I thought, UNC should have such an organization. So I just decided to start it.
I guess the one thing that just sticks out to me is like how many people like can just go along without ever having to think about like their race. And that's specifically for white people. There's like the added like aspect of having to deal with like the confusion and like ambiguity of being mixed race, that even more people don't have to think about. And so carrying that with you as a student on campus at all times, and just being so aware that other people aren't thinking about it.
First meeting, I truly loved it so much, and I couldn't believe how much I loved it, just to be in a space and everyone just understand you right off the bat, and never had that space before. And it was like 10 or 15 people, and that was just a ton of people to me to have the same culture as me. And so then after that first meeting, I just loved it.
I gained a community of people who shared very similar experiences. The beautiful thing about Swirl is that all of the members identify differently, even though we all identify as multiracial. We all have very different backgrounds and very different stories and experiences that we bring to that. And so it's been nice that I have points of connection with people and experiencing the same kind of big questions like, what are you?
Be in a group every week in which they understood what you were going through, and even though I didn't realize how much my identity meant to me before joining Swirl, I realized I would benefit from the community, and then I ended up benefiting a lot more than I thought I would. Comfortable in my own skin after after so many years of not being comfortable in my own skin, it just feels different. Like, I changed my appearance to fit how I wanted to look, and then I also changed my style, and I don't know, it was just really transformative in a way that I really didn't think it was going to be.
So just having this group as a space where I can do that and where other people can do that, and I can learn about them and they can learn about me, but really we can just exist in the space together and express these parts of ourselves, is just a very, very special thing to me.
Being mixed race, you're kind of exoticized, and so people will come up to you and touch your hair without permission because they've never seen it. And I 100% understand curiosity and love it when people are curious and ask questions, but I also, as a person, have personal boundaries and deserve that kind of respect. But because I'm multiracial, I'm not given that respect, so people will touch my hair without permission, or they'll ask invasive questions like, okay, so what race is your mom, or what race is your dad, right off the bat before they even know my name.
One of the discussions is the question, what are you? And it turned out that we all had a lot of commonality in regards to that question being so, if you were mixed race or racially ambiguous growing up, I'm sure kids innocently just act they just want to know what are you, but it is asked all the time. It's just it's very it feels very dehumanizing to some. Some people might enjoy the attention from oh, what are you? What are you being? But most of not all of us were saying yeah, it's just not a nice thing to be called, and it's it was very serious.
The main intention that everyone kind of sees is just wanting to see how people like, and not exclusively people who are multiracial, but just like everyone, wanting to see like how UNC students, you know, just react to the question, what they think, what they have to say, is like the reason that we have the campaign. I think the importance of the campaign is bringing awareness to the experiences of multiracial people. I think of it kind of as a like turning the question around. This question that's so often been directed at me and people like me to other people, so they can experience for themselves what a difficult experience it can be to have that kind of loaded question thrown at you. Kind of unwarranted. You're just walking through the pit, right? Like, we weren't having a deep conversation. Like, it just gets like thrown at you and you're like just told to answer it. So for me, I think it's about letting people experience that for themselves. I think the campaign is particularly like important for people who aren't multiracial or who don't experience that question, to experience it so that they know and maybe think twice next time. Like, not to say that they shouldn't ever inquire about, you know, anyone's like background ever again, but that they should kind of think about what it means to ask that of someone. It's not just like as simple as asking someone their name, you know. It's not just an easy question. That it's not always an easy question for people.
We enjoyed the energy we captured with that, and we were able to engage a lot of people off of that, just like the hashtag what are you? And I think I think we succeed in that, and that's why like when it was this year, it's like we need to do that again.